the vitriol and division among Christians, whether it was the pandemic, the last election, this language we've been talking about. I mean, I've lost friends over the election. I've lost friends over woke CRT, BLM, and they won't speak to me. And frankly, Jana, I don't really want to waste time with them. What's your take on this? And is there a way back, or is this just our new reality?
The reality is, I think this is again 2 Thessalonians. I think this kind of loss of love is also one of the things Scripture tells us is going to be happening in the latter days. So A, I'm not surprised by it. B, if we're called to be repairers of the breach, and we are in the book of Isaiah, if as much as is possible with you, be at peace with all men. I mean, my dad was a football coach. There was a playbook. He had to go back to what the playbook said. These are the rules of deportment. I'm not to argue. That's what the coach says in the playbook. These are the rules in which I'm supposed to engage. But there are going to be some people who are stiff-necked, to use scriptural phrases. They are going to be some people who are hard-hearted. And there are going to be some people, again, who are waffling, limping between two opinions. And their politics has now superseded their relationship with Jesus Christ. So I think this is where the maturity of the saint comes in. And that is a wonderful way to engage somebody like that, where the vitriol is there, is to answer a question with a question. It works beautifully in the law. It works beautifully in human dynamics, where somebody goes, I really hate people who voted for fill in the candidate. And rather than become defensive of your position because you probably voted for that candidate, you say, well, what makes you say that? And you begin to dialogue, and asking the questions dial down the animus. And what happens is, as you peel back the layers of this onion, at the core of this, you're probably going to find somebody who's waffling, might be having a dark night of the soul, is asking questions about their faith, is wondering if they're in the process of deconstructing because they don't know what they believe anymore. Thank you, Dr. Paul Little, and why they believe it. And so I think the outside anger very often is revelatory, my experience anyway, of some fear and brokenness on the inside. So put on the whole armor of God. My mama used to say you go through life with tough skin and a tender heart. And in the church in particular, I think what we do is we say, I want to, please God, give me the ears of my heart to really hear the pain behind what they're saying, and not to overcome evil with evil, and to remind me, Father, that a soft answer turns away wrath. And if we do that, they're going to be, obviously there were times Jesus did this where he shook the sand off his sandals and he went, nah, I'm out of here. I mean, these people aren't going to hear my message. This is pearls before swine. I'm going to move on. And so we don't have an arrogant attitude, but in your mind you go, okay, this person's not in a place right now where they can receive mature Christian counseling to try to repair this bridge, to try to help them see things a different way. So Lord, if it's your will, give me another opportunity in the future, but time to move on. Part of the discernment of the state of the saint, I think, is to know when to stay and to know when to move on. And that's tough because we get this kind of simplified Christianity that says, well, if we're going to be like Jesus, we just love at all times. Yeah, well, he also flipped tables, by the way. He also called the religious community a bunch of hypocrites. So there were times when Jesus went, no, it's not just children on my knee. I am God incarnate and you're wrong. And sometimes we have to have that kind of an attitude as well.